You've been told to hustle, to push, to strive. But what if true power lies in something deeper, something innate and ancient within you? This video will reveal how reclaiming the timeless wisdom of the feminine isn't just about history. It's about unlocking your most authentic, empowered self right now. What if everything you thought you knew about strength was wrong? Society tells us to push, strive, and conquer. But ancient wisdom reveals a different path to power, one rooted in intuition and nurture. Prepare to challenge your modern beliefs and uncover the forgotten strength within you. Forget the hustle culture and the endless pursuit of external validation. We're told these are the keys to success. But for centuries, women embraced a radical different approach. This video isn't about fitting in. It's about reclaiming a timeless feminine wisdom that modern life has tried to erase, proving true power lies in balance, not brute force. Chosen ones, prepare yourself as we journey into the secret power of feminine wisdom revealed. Since the dawn of time, the divine feminine has been the pulse of creation, the nurturing force that gives life, the intuition that guides us beyond logic, the compassion that heals, and the wisdom that restores balance. But somewhere along humanity's path, this sacred energy was silenced, hidden, and forgotten. And in its absence, imbalance took root. Today we are being called to remember, to awaken what has always lived within us, to walk once more upon the forgotten path of the divine feminine. In the ancient world, the feminine was not weakness, it was power. From Isis of Egypt, embodiment of magic and motherhood, to Shakti of the Vedic tradition, the cosmic creative force, the divine feminine was honored as the heartbeat of existence. She was the reminder that true strength is not domination, but harmony. Not force, but flow. Not control, but creation. And in today's world, rushing, divided, and restless, this wisdom is not only relevant, it is essential. To awaken the feminine within you is to honor your intuition, to nurture yourself and others, to trust the quiet voice of truth inside your heart. It is the courage to feel, to rest, to soften, and to heal. The divine feminine is not reserved for women alone. It lives in every human soul, waiting to balance the masculine with tenderness, the intellect with intuition, the drive with compassion. For men, awakening this energy means releasing the armor of silence. It means listening deeply, embracing creativity, trusting intuition, and knowing that gentleness is not weakness, but the highest form of strength. For women, it means healing generations of suppression, honoring the wisdom of their cycles, their capacity to create and to nurture, their right to rest, to lead, and to shine. When both men and women embody the divine feminine, we step into wholeness. We become balanced beings, strong yet tender, logical yet intuitive, grounded yet free. Now let's emphasize on why this energy activation. It's not only about women as many believe so. The energy of the divine feminine is not exclusive to women. It is a universal principle of creation that resides within everyone, regardless of gender. Here's a breakdown of why and how men can, and do, activate and benefit from this energy. 1. The principle of duality and wholeness. Many spiritual and philosophical traditions, from Taoism to Jungian psychology, are built on the concept of duality. The universe, and by extension the human psyche, is composed of opposing yet complementary forces, yin and yang, Taoism. In this ancient Chinese philosophy, the universe is a dance between yin, the feminine principle, and yang, the masculine principle. Yin is associated with qualities like receptivity, intuition, darkness, and stillness. Yang is associated with action, logic, light, and movement. A state of health and balance is achieved not by choosing one over the other, but by integrating both. Anima and animus, Jungian psychology. Carl Jung's concept of the anima, the feminine archetype in the male psyche, and the animus, the masculine archetype in the female psyche, suggests that every individual contains both masculine and feminine energies. The journey toward psychological wholeness, individuation, involves acknowledging and integrating these inner counterparts. From this perspective, a man who only develops his masculine energy, logic, ambition, control, is living an incomplete life. By consciously activating his inner feminine, he becomes a more balanced and whole person. 2. The benefits for men. When a man taps into his divine feminine energy, he can experience profound positive shifts in his life. Emotional intelligence. Societal norms often pressure men to suppress emotions. Activating the divine feminine helps men connect with their feelings, fostering emotional literacy, empathy, and the ability to form deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Enhanced creativity and intuition. Moving beyond a purely analytical mindset can unlock new levels of creativity and innovation. This can be beneficial in all areas of life, from problem-solving at work to personal expression through art. Improved relationships. The ability to be more receptive, compassionate, and emotionally available can transform a man's relationships with his partner, family, and friends. It allows for a more nurturing and supportive presence. Reduce stress and burnout. The masculine energy of constant doing and striving can lead to stress and exhaustion. By embracing the feminine qualities of stillness, rest, and receptivity, a man can find a more sustainable and balanced rhythm in his life. Authentic leadership. A leader who integrates the divine feminine is not just a figure of authority, but also a source of compassion, intuition, and inspiration. This style of leadership is often more collaborative and empowering for others. 3. Practical ways for men to activate the divine feminine. The practices are similar to those for women, but they may require a conscious effort to overcome societal programming that devalues these qualities in men. Mindfulness and meditation. Practices that encourage being rather than doing. This helps to quiet the logical mind and tune into intuition. Creative expression. Engaging in artistic pursuits like painting, music, or writing without the pressure of having to produce a finished product. The focus is on the process, not the outcome. Journaling and reflection. Regularly taking time to sit with and process emotions, thoughts, and inner experiences. Nature connection. Spending time in nature, especially in a state of quiet observation and receptivity, can help a man reconnect with the natural rhythms of life. Vulnerability. Practicing being vulnerable and sharing emotions with trusted friends or a partner. This helps to break down the walls of emotional suppression. Honoring the body. Engaging in body-based practices like yoga, dance, or martial arts not for competition, but for the felt experience and connection to one's physical self. Reading and studying. Learning about spiritual traditions, mythologies, and psychologies that explore the feminine principle, e.g., Jungian psychology, Taoism, goddess myths from various cultures. In summary, activating the divine feminine is not about becoming less of a man, but about becoming more of a whole human being. It's a journey of balancing strength with compassion, logic with intuition, and action with receptivity, leading to a richer, more authentic, and fulfilling life. Benefits of activation. Harnessing and benefiting from the energy of the divine feminine is a deeply personal and transformative process. It's not about acquiring something new, but rather about activating and reintegrating a part of yourself that may have been suppressed or devalued by societal norms. The benefits are not just external rewards, but profound shifts in consciousness and well-being. Here are some of the key ways one can benefit from this activated energy. 1. Enhanced intuition and inner guidance. The divine feminine is intrinsically linked to intuition, instinct, and a non-linear way of knowing. When you activate this energy, you can benefit from clearer decision-making, moving beyond purely logical analysis to include the wisdom of your gut feelings and inner knowing. This can lead to choices that are more aligned with your true self. Tapping into creativity, accessing a deeper well of creative inspiration. This applies not just to artistic pursuits, but to problem-solving, innovation, and finding new solutions in all areas of life. Improved self-trust, learning to trust your own inner voice and wisdom, rather than constantly seeking external validation or advice. 2. Deeper connection to the body and nature. This energy encourages a resacralization of the physical body and the natural world. Body positivity and acceptance. Viewing your body not as an object to be controlled or judged, but as a sacred vessel and a source of wisdom. This can lead to improved self-image and a healthier relationship with your physical form. Healing trauma. The divine feminine is a powerful energy for nurturing and healing. It can help you process and release stored emotional and physical trauma by encouraging a more gentle, compassionate approach to your own wounds. Groundedness, feeling more connected and rooted in the present moment, much like the earth itself. This can reduce anxiety and create a sense of stability. 3. Cultivating compassion and empathy. The nurturing aspect of the divine feminine expands your capacity for love and understanding. Greater empathy. Developing a deeper ability to understand and share the feelings of others. This strengthens your relationships and fosters a sense of interconnectedness with all beings. Healthy boundaries. While it's an energy of connection, it also provides the wisdom to know when to say no and protect your own energy, as true compassion starts with self-care. Serving others. Finding a new purpose in using your unique gifts to uplift and support your community in the world, or embracing cycles and flow. Rather than a linear, goal-oriented approach to life, the divine feminine encourages a cyclical perspective. Emotional resilience. Understanding that emotions and life experiences are cyclical. Just as there are seasons, there are times of growth, rest, joy, and sorrow. This perspective helps you ride the waves of life with more grace and less resistance. Reduced burnout. Honoring the need for rest and periods of introspection, rather than pushing yourself constantly. This leads to a more sustainable and fulfilling pace of life. Alignment with natural rhythms, connecting with the cycles of the moon, the seasons, and your own biological rhythms. This can create a sense of harmony and inner peace. 5. Fostering authenticity and empowerment. This energy helps you to shed layers of social conditioning and live more authentically. Speaking your truth. Finding the courage to express your voice, needs, and desires without fear of judgment. Personal sovereignty. Reclaiming your power and agency. It's not about dominating others, but about taking ownership of your own life and spiritual path. Fulfilling relationships. Attracting and nurturing relationships that are based on mutual respect, emotional depth, and authentic connection. How to activate this energy. Activating this energy is a process, not a one-time event. It involves intentional practices such as meditation and visualization, focusing on goddesses, archetypes, or the sacred feminine within. Journaling. Exploring your inner world and emotions without judgment. Creative expression. Engaging in dance, art, music, or any form of creation that bypasses the rational mind. Connecting with nature, spending time in the wilderness, by water, or in a garden. Body-based practices. Engaging in yoga, gentle movement, or ecstatic dance to connect with your body. Honoring your cycles, paying attention to your own biological and emotional rhythms. Ultimately, the benefit of activating the divine feminine is the profound experience of coming home to yourself, embracing your wholeness, your intuition, and your innate creative power. The awakening of the divine feminine is not only a personal journey, it is a collective rebirth. When compassion guides our choices, when cooperation replaces competition, when service replaces domination, society itself begins to heal. The earth, our greatest feminine teacher, is honored once more as sacred, not exploited. Leadership becomes service. Punishment gives way to healing, and humanity remembers harmony. This is not a dream of utopia. It is a return to balance, the dance of masculine and feminine, structure and flow, logic and love. The divine feminine is not a concept to admire, but a living energy to embody. The divine feminine is not a practice for moments of meditation alone. It is a way of life. It is how we speak, how we listen, how we choose. It is found in balance between action and rest, giving and receiving, strength and softness. This path is not about perfection. It is about intention. Every small choice becomes sacred. How you nourish your body, how you honor your cycles, how you forgive yourself when you fall. Living the divine feminine is to remember wholeness. It is to live life as a dance between the sun and the moon within us all. Now let's explore the history and hidden meaning. The concept of the divine feminine has a long and complex history, with its hidden or esoteric teachings often being a response to, or existing alongside, more patriarchal, exoteric religious systems. Rather than a single tradition, it's a spiritual lens that can be found in a variety of forms across different cultures and eras. Here's an exploration of some of the key aspects of the esoteric divine feminine through history. 1. The ancient roots, the Great Mother Goddess. Long before the rise of monotheistic patriarchal religions, the divine feminine was a central figure in human spirituality. This period is often referred to as the era of the Great Mother Goddess. Archaeological evidence. Thousands of female figurines, such as the Venus of Willendorf, dating back to the Upper Paleolithic and Neolithic eras, as early as 30,000 BCE, have been discovered across Europe and Asia. These figures, often with exaggerated features related to fertility and birth, are interpreted by many scholars as representations of a widespread mother-goddess cult. Connection to nature and creation. In these early traditions, the divine was often seen as immanent, present within the world itself. The earth was personified as a great female being, giving birth to and nurturing all life. This view stands in contrast to the later, more transcendent, masculine creator deities, who are often depicted as separate from their creation, cycles of life, death, and rebirth. The esoteric teachings of the Great Mother were deeply connected to the cycles of nature. The goddess was not only a creatrix, but also a force of death and regeneration, embodying the endless spiral of birth, decay, and rebirth seen in the seasons and in the human experience. 2. The esoteric feminine in polytheistic religions. As societies became more structured, the divine feminine manifested in a diverse pantheon of goddesses. While many of these goddesses were part of public worship, they often had deeper, more secretive teachings associated with them. Greek and Roman mysteries. Goddesses like Demeter and Persephone were at the center of the Eleusinian mysteries, a secret religious cult in ancient Greece. The rites, which were held in secrecy, explored themes of death, the afterlife, and the regenerative power of the feminine. The story of Persephone's descent into the underworld and return to her mother, Demeter, symbolized the cycle of life, death, and renewal, a fundamental esoteric teaching. Egyptian wisdom. In ancient Egypt, goddesses like Isis were revered as powerful figures of wisdom, magic, and healing. The cult of Isis spread throughout the Roman Empire, attracting both men and women. Her mysteries were believed to offer a path to salvation and immortality, and she was seen as the embodiment of divine wisdom, Sophia in Greek, a concept that would later influence other esoteric traditions. The feminine in non-Western traditions. In Hinduism, the concept of Shakti, the primordial cosmic energy and creative power, is an essential esoteric teaching. All other goddesses are considered manifestations of Devi, the great goddess. Shakti is not the consort of a male god, but a supreme independent force that animates the entire universe. Similarly, in Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism, female figures like the Bodhisattva Tara are seen as manifestations of enlightened wisdom and compassion, with esoteric teachings and practices dedicated to her. 3. The divine feminine in Abrahamic traditions. While patriarchal structures came to dominate Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, the esoteric divine feminine did not disappear. It went underground, finding expression in mystical and Gnostic schools, the Shekinah in Judaism. In Kabbalah, the mystical branch of Judaism, the Shekinah is the immanent, indwelling presence of God in the world. Often described as the divine feminine, Shekinah represents the receptive, nurturing, and feminine aspect of the divine, a crucial counterbalance to the transcendent masculine aspects of God. Gnosticism and Sophia. Gnostic Christians revered Sophia, or divine wisdom, as a central figure in their cosmology. She was often depicted as a feminine emanation of God, who played a key role in the creation of the material world. The Gnostic understanding of Sophia represented a more esoteric, spiritual path to knowledge, often in opposition to the more dogmatic, patriarchal views of mainstream Christianity. Sufism and the divine beloved. In Sufism, the mystical tradition of Islam, the divine is often described in terms of a passionate, intimate relationship between the human soul and the divine beloved. This language, often drawing on feminine imagery, highlights the receptive, emotional, and intuitive aspects of the spiritual journey. 4. Modern revival in esoteric schools. The resurgence of interest in the divine feminine in the 19th, 20th, and 21st centuries has been fueled by feminism, a growing dissatisfaction with patriarchal religious structures, and a return to nature-based spirituality. The goddess movement. The modern goddess movement draws inspiration from ancient matriarchal theories and archaeological discoveries. It offers a spiritual path centered on female divinity, ritual, and empowerment. Modern mystery schools. Today, many esoteric schools and practitioners are dedicated to reclaiming the hidden teachings of the divine feminine. These contemporary movements often focus on themes like the body as a sacred temple, emphasizing the physical body, menstruation, and female sexuality as channels for divine energy, in contrast to the historical tendency of some traditions to devalue the body. Intuition and receptivity, promoting intuitive, non-linear ways of knowing as a valid and powerful spiritual path, contrasting with the emphasis on logic and reason. Emotional and relational spirituality, valuing connection, community, and emotional expression as central to spiritual practice. In essence, the esoteric teachings of the divine feminine have always been about balance, the balance between the manifest and unmanifest, the visible and the hidden, the masculine and the feminine. While often suppressed, this wisdom has persisted through the ages, offering a path that honors the earth, the body, and the deep intuitive knowing that lies within each individual. The awakening of the divine feminine is not just your journey, it is our journey, a movement rising across the earth, calling us to reclaim our authentic selves, and to live in balance, masculine and feminine, logic and love, structure and flow. This is your invitation, to listen more deeply, to live more compassionately, to honor the earth and the sacredness of life. Every choice you make is a ripple. Every act of awakening adds to the great current of change. Together, these ripples become a wave, a movement that reshapes the future of humanity. The forgotten path is no longer forgotten. It is here, it is now, and it begins with you. If you made it this far, you have definitely activated your divine feminine energy, or it's already active, meaning you are whole and completely balanced. Thank you for being here. Until next time, Universal Consciousness signing out.